Chapter number 15 Mouseketeer Days. All of Kenwood were glued to their TVs on the night Britney competed on Star Search. Later, when she was on the Disney Channel for the all-new Mickey Mouse Club, it seemed as though half the town modernized and got cable so they could watch her. Britney had tried out for the pre-American Idol singing competition while we were in New York, and she was excited to be on national television, competing with the nation's top young singers. When it was time for her to compete, she won the first round but lost the next time around. She sang Love Can Build a Bridge by the judge, and the power of the lyrics matched the depth of the power of Britney's 10-year-old voice. She did not like to lose one little bit, and though it was painful, the fighter in her would not allow herself to feel defeated. As I said, back in Kenwood, we had tons of support and encouragement from our community. People were so proud of the little girl they could call one of their own. But then there was also another, much smaller group of folks back home, those who thought we were crazy. Well, they thought I was crazy. Anyway, they would say, "Who do you and your daughter think you are? No one around here has ever done anything like this before." The truth is, I didn't think much about Britney's future, if at all. My child had already realized her dreams in such an amazing way. What could possibly top being on national television? I simply did not have the huge ambitions for her that I had been accused of having. If a door opened, we walked through it. Yet there was no denying Britney's innate desire to perform. On the playground, in church, in the shower, she sang to the rooftops every day, with absolutely no prodding from me. Does a bird need a nudge from its mother to sing? Britney sang from the depths of her young being, because I believe that's what she was meant to do. I felt that by shutting the doors that were opening to her, I would be locking down something essential and primal inside of her. In the end, I would not put a cage around that bird. Justin and the Musketeers. When she was 11, going on 12, Britney auditioned again for the Mickey Mouse Club. There were 3 intense days in the tryout camp to become a Musketeer, and it all boiled down to a 5-minute audition, where each child was supposed to sing 2 songs, dance, and perform a comedy monologue. The second time was a charm for both Britney and Christina. Both girls made it as cast members on MMC, as it was generally known. Ryan Gosling, both who has become a big movie star in such films as The Notebook, and Justin Timberlake were also on the show at that time. My first impression of the biggest pop stars in the world? I just thought they were sweet kids. Jay-Z Chases, a future member of NSYNC, and actress Kerry Russell were also cast members during Britney's era. Justin. One day when Britney was about 13 and Jamie Lynn was just a toddler, we all went to a local pastor we knew for some family counseling. Jamie's drinking had been out of control, and I thought this pastor could give us some much needed guidance on how to keep us from splintering. We only went a few times. Nobody expected me really appreciated what the pastor was saying, but he did point out something profound. If this young lady, Britney, and her daddy don't resolve their issues, and he doesn't try harder to establish a good, strong relationship with her, she will end up clinging to the first real romance in her life. That man will be of extreme importance in her life, and that relationship will determine the course of all her relationships with men from then on. I couldn't know it at the time, but of course the first true romance in Britney's life was Justin, her childhood sweetheart, the one who had been friends with her since they were both young mates on Mickey Mouse Club. His mother was my good friend, and we watched them grow up together. Later, we would also watch them rise in fame together, from his days on Mickey Mouse Club to NSYNC, to branching out on his own incredible, successful solo career. Justin and Britney followed a very similar trajectory to superstardom. Lynne Harless and I would truly have a front row seat. The two of us mothers watching in awe as our children become the world's biggest pop stars. Britney and Justin started dating when she was 18. They were a lot alike, those two, much more so than Britney and her future husband, Kevin, would be alike. Perhaps Justin and Britney were too similar and battled their strong wills together too often. For the most part, I liked their relationship, although not every aspect of it was pleasing to me. Early in their relationship, for example, she and Justin had been having heartfelt conversations about the meaning of life, as all young adults do, and one day she came to talk to me. Mama, I just don't know if there really is a right and wrong anywhere, she said thoughtfully. I mean, is anything really wrong? Looking back, that's about the time Britney started questioning her Christian faith. I do believe she will come back to her faith roots someday soon. But this was really where she took a left turn on her spiritual journey. In a way, I understood, remembering how I had doubts myself in my world religion class at my Catholic high school, and I didn't like it one bit. Later on, that the two of them were going to buy a house and live together at the age of 19. But at that point, I could have talked until I was blue in the face about morals and values and, for heaven's sake, good common sense. No one was particularly open to my input at that time. Let's put it that way. Justin was part of our life, our family for 4 years, and to me, he will always be that cute, sweet kid from our Mickey Mouse Club days. Justin and Britney's breakup, though, would be a terrible thing for all involved. I wish they would have parted ways differently, rather than to hurt each other and leave all those scars. It was a story with two ends, or rather, I should say, it was a story with two endings, one made up by Britney and one by Justin. It wasn't healthy for either of them, but that was all to unravel in the far future for us. Florida was a gateway to a whole new life.